touched my heart, and he is my friend, but I certainly believe that you got to give honor where honor is due, and he's been doing a tremendous job, and it is not easy being a public servant, and he is a true public servant. But we got to take the bitter with the sweet in this business. And oftentimes when you are trying to transform a place, that transformation is sometimes painful. But when all is said and done, it's going to be very much well worth it. So I am honored to be a public servant alongside of Mayor Norton. I am even more honored now that East Cleveland is officially in my district. So I've done a lot of things in East Cleveland despite district, because I certainly believe that if you have a gift and a willingness to serve people, that you shouldn't let boundaries get in the way. And so the mayor and I both were in Leadership Cleveland class together, the best class forever. Right. And since we are taping, I won't say some of the things I want to say about the mayor in terms of him, but he keeps us laughing, I will tell you that. But he is a very strong leader, and he is very, very committed, and he knows I'm right there by his side. Anything that he ever needs, I'm right here with him to lift him and to be there to help him lift this community. And speaking of lifting the community, to your CEO, and I thank you so much for the invitation. And as the mayor has said, and he knows better than I know, but this place is wonderful. When I was driving down Noble and I saw this regal sign that said Carrington, and I asked Bernie why did he name it that, and he said it had care in it. And that is powerful. And even looking at your brochure, that there's a difference between being cared for and truly feeling that you're cared about. And children, especially young people who have special needs, they need that much more than anybody, for somebody to believe in them through and through. And so you all offer that at Carrington, and I'm so proud. And I do want to come back so that I can get a tour and just adopt me. I am all about lifting children because they are our future. And if we do not serve them in the ways that they need to be served, it comes back on us. So either we're going to do it for moral reasons, or we're going to do it for reasons for our own survival. But whichever way you decide to do it, young people need us. And so for those of you who work in this ministry, I call the ministry that the mayor and I, we're an elected ministry, and it is a ministry, God knows. Pray all the time that the Lord will send laborers into his harvest. It's hard work. And I know you probably feel the same way sometimes, because when you are dealing with humanware, when you're dealing with people with a heart and with a soul and with a mind, with flesh and blood, this is not about widgets. This is about uplifting humanity. And how we take care of our children shows what type of human beings, what type of nation, what type of city or community we really, really are. So I want to thank all of you for doing God's work. And I know sometimes it might not seem like it, but for every child that you touch, every life that you transform, not only are you making a difference in that individual child's life, but you're making a difference for generations to come. And that is really what this is all about. One of my favorite quotes from Helen Keller is, "One must never consent to creep when one feels the urge to soar." And I want you to think about what you do every single day. You are trying to plant in the seeds of the children that you serve that sense that they can soar. And they can, in their own way, in their own time. But they have to have people who believe in them, people who care about them and their well-being. And you're doing that here at Carrington and all of the other professionals who are here today. So just going to talk a little bit about, I got a chance to share with a smaller group that the budget is, Mayor, the budget is coming out.
That's the thing about it.
I don't know, it depends. But February the 4th, the governor will present his budget, and it is important that your activist community gets engaged, combs through that budget, and make it known. If you want to know how a government or a group feels, what they see as important, follow the money. And so we have got to, in this budget cycle, really advocate that the governor and the General Assembly invest money in children, invest money in education, invest money in cities and not rob cities, because they were robbed in the last General Assembly. But I'm not going to go down the political road, but it is important for us to follow the money. We have a rainy day fund that has about $500 million in it. Our receipts are coming in above what we expected, and all of that is good. But I want to see the General Assembly and the governor take all of that good and invest it in young people and give local governments, and I'm not just saying that because the mayor is here, I come from local government, we both come from local government, that money needs to go back to local government because that is where the rubber meets the road. I gotta give a shout out to another one of our elected colleagues in the ministry, Councilman Julian Rogers. Councilman, it's so good to see you. County Councilman. Another mover and shaker in Cuyahoga County. So for my caucus, we have a few bills that I think you might find very interesting. One of my colleagues from Columbus, her name is Senator Charlita Tavares, is introducing a bill to deal with family stability. And that might not sound like a bill that somebody would introduce in the General Assembly, but she wants a study commission to deal with what are the things that state government can do to aid family stability. What can we do to try to decrease pregnancies by unwed mothers and unwed fathers? What does it really mean to be a financial support from the government level to children? Family stability. That is a beautiful thing. So looking forward to debating that piece of legislation and hoping that the General Assembly will find it in their heart to pass it. I think that is powerful to have a policy on the state level who looks at the family in a very holistic way, not necessarily traditional family, but looks at all family units in a holistic way, and that we use our money in a way that helps to undergird and uplift what families need. Another piece of legislation that Senator Edna Brown is introducing has to do with nutrition. We know it is vitally important that our young people have healthy meals to fuel their bodies and their minds. And so she has a bill to deal with that. And also, if school buses are used as food centers during the summer, there's a prohibition in the state that you can't feed children necessarily on a bus. So she wants to change that. Not that the bus is moving, but if it's being used over the summertime, to allow that to be able to happen in a powerful way. So I want to close by just reminding you that what you do is vitally important to somebody. And you can make the difference between life and death, not necessarily a physical death, but the mental death of a child, especially children who find themselves in these types of situations. I liken it to myself. From time to time, I've been pondering my mortality. Not that I'm going to die anytime soon, right? But just kind of, thinking about that. And thinking about what I want the minister to say on that great getting up morning. Now, I already told my son I want to be buried in a blue dress. I need my glasses because I got to see on the other side. I need a book because if I put an iPad in there, somebody's going to take it. So I just told him, I prefer to take an iPad. Right. But given the circumstance, a book will do. And when there are thousands of people lined up to pay their respects, I'm thinking, let's see, about 500,000 folks. I wanted to go on. I wanted to be a celebration. When the minister, though, steps into the pulpit, I don't want him or her to have to make anything up. Have you ever been to a funeral? You don't know who they were talking about. You wish you had known that person. My point in this story is not about dying, but it is about living. And that we live our lives in such a way that we are a blessing or a gift to somebody. And it is especially true when we are serving children who depend on us as adults to make a difference. I can tell you, as someone who was raised in a single parent household, parents who got married as teenagers, it just didn't work out. My father is a wonderful man and we have a strong relationship. Having a mother, though, to raise 7 children all on her own is bitter, it's hard. And but for a grandmother who only had a 3rd grade education, who told me and my 7 siblings, or 6 siblings, I'm the oldest of 7, to be the best. And she said, if you can't be the best, I want you to be next to the best. I want you to be so close to the best that nobody could tell the difference. And whenever we would doubt our abilities to be the best, Grandma would pull a mirror from her purse and she placed it in front of our faces. And she said, every time you look in this mirror, you see best.
I want you in whatever capacity, whether you are an administrator, whether you are a therapist, or whether you are a teacher in a classroom, when you have those young minds, you have to reiterate to them over and over and over again that they are absolutely the best. And although it does matter where you come from, it matters more where you are going. And if you are willing to put some skin in the game, we're going to do everything that we can to help you live a successful life. Our children can never hear that enough. And it is our job to plant those seeds so that they can soar. So, I know it is easy to get weary and well-doing sometimes, but just know that you are making a difference. And the reason why I make reference to my life, because somebody made a difference for me. Somebody helped my mother along the way. And had they given up on me because my mother did not live the ideal life, I might not have the opportunity to have a fancy title in front of my name and fancy initials behind my name. It is nothing special about me, only that somebody decided to invest in me. The teacher in the classroom, the bus driver who took me to school, the cafeteria worker in the cafeteria, the janitor mopping and sweeping the floors. Somebody reminded me that although you might come from a poor household, God has a plan for you. And so they didn't give up on me. And now it is our job as adults not to give up on anybody's child and to make the difference. And we should treat all children as if they are our own. This is about heart-soul agreement. So, Mr. CEO, you and Carrington, you guys have a lot of heart-soul agreement. And I know that the people in this room have heart-soul agreement. We will not get weary in well-doing. We will keep the faith, and we will keep the fight. And I want you to know that my door is always open. If I can ever be of help for any program or anything that you are doing, let me know. And as you look over the budget, if there are things that trouble you, you let me know. But make sure that you understand this, that the squeaky wheel gets the grease. So if there's something that you need in Columbus, you got to come down there and shake the foundation of the State House, because things can change. I remember when Governor Strickland was governor and he had cut the budget to the libraries. And Mayor and Councilman, I don't know if you remember this, but you know, you think about libraries, they're so above it all. But I'm going to tell you something. I received over 5,000 emails from these little librarians who are above it all, basically making it known that they were not pleased with how the governor had proposed, it was Governor Strickland at that time, to cut their budget, and they weren't having any of it. They even went as far as having little babies call. You know, I remember picking up the phone and hearing a little girl's voice, and how old are you? 5. Don't close down our library. What? You know, who put you up to this? The librarian did. So, but I will tell you this. They lobbied the General Assembly so hard that the General Assembly restored some of their money. The moral of that story is never give up, never give out, never give in. If you believe in something and you push for it and you get hundreds of other folks to push with you, you can absolutely, unequivocally make a difference.
And shamelessly use kids.
And use kids, right. And if you ever doubt it, go and talk to the librarian. They will tell you how to get it done. So it was my absolute pleasure to be here with you this afternoon, and keep the faith and keep the fight. So thank you.